right, welcome back. Back already. I have to deal with this subject on this video and really focus in on the subject, the brainlessness of pit bulls. Now, I've talked about how brainless dogs are. I've talked about how brainless pit bulls are. But I don't know if we've been that clear, or as clear as we can be about it. I feel like I haven't. I feel like I left some stones unturned. So I want to dig deeper into it briefly. I shouldn't be too long. Excuse me. As I am nursing serious sinus issues. I want y'all to take a look at this video. And you know what? I'm going to give commentary throughout. What you see here, if you can see my cursor, this is a lion and this is a lion. This lion is trespassing on this lion's territory. That's why this lion is in a submissive posture. This lion's actually crouched down right now. Watch this. First of all, wait a minute, look at this. Y'all see that? Now, look at this part right here. Where he stopped. First of all, he stopped. And he just looked at this lion. Pit bulls don't do that. Pit bulls run, they dart, and attack. There's no thinking. There's no processing. Now you can clearly see that these lions are doing some other forms of communication. But look at the self-control, the discipline. It doesn't just go from 0 to 100 in a second like pit bulls. They assess the threat, and really this lion that's in his own territory is posturing. You see? This lion here is walking in a dominant posture. Head high, tail high, standing tall. This lion is submitting to this lion. It understands that it has trespassed on his territory and he's submitting to him. Now this lion, he could walk away. He could let this other lion go. And he seems like he's thinking about it. Not saying that it is. But look at the scuffle. There was no bite in that sequence. There was no bite. Look at the discipline. Why don't you see that type of self-discipline in restraining, self-restraint? Why don't you see that with pit bulls? Why is it just always a full-on, brainless, 100% attack? Clamp down and never let go. Why is it always a fight to the death? Other animals, they don't do that. Other carnivores, they don't do that. This was a form of negotiation. The dominant lion, he clearly felt like he needed to put his foot down, but he really just gave a warning. There was no biting. You see, and immediately the foreign lion starts to submit to him. The foreign lion defends himself, then goes right back into a submissive posture. This is negotiating. Lions, if they can help it, they're not going to fight to the death. They'll just move on, find some other territory. They'll just be a nomad for a while and find their own pride. They generally don't feel it's necessary to fight to the death. With pit bulls, it's always to the death. Even when one lion has the advantage and is dominant in the fight, he'll opt to put an end to his attack if his opponent is submissive and walks away, leaves the territory. You can't get pit bulls to do that. With pit bulls, there's nothing that you could call cerebral with them. At no moment does it seem like they're thinking about anything. There's nothing sophisticated about pit bulls. So this foreign lion, he might get spared. He won't be killed, but he will leave this territory. And this is a warning to not come back. Because if you come back, I'm strong. He had to smack him around a little bit. He had to do that, just to let him know, I'm not no punk. And I'll hurt you if I catch you back here again. Now, they're not cerebral like that, but that's what they're doing. They're avoiding the biting, the clomping, because it's not necessary. Natural animals of the earth, they're not brainless. They're not brainless like pit bulls. Pit bulls are brainless, dude. They are completely brainless. They don't consider their own safety or nothing. It's just an all-out attack every single time. And it's to the death. And even if they're attacking an animal bigger than itself, when they attack horses, I've shown a few cases where they've attacked horses. When they do that, you can't get them to stop. You cannot get them to stop. So they even attack bigger targets larger than themselves. And it's just a brainless, frenzied attack non-stop. No other animal behaves like that. All other animals show some degree of intelligence, to some degree. Now, this is intelligent. It's like, hey, I don't have to kill you. I can just show you that I'm tougher than you. Now, go find your own territory. Now, I want you to look at this. This is an all-out fight. But look at how the fight goes down. Okay, now they're fighting and tussling for a while. And then they come from behind the bushes. Look at what they're doing now. Look at this. Now I don't know if they're from the same pride or not. They might be from the same pride. But look at them right now. Pit bulls don't do that. They don't do that. There's no submission, no pause. It's just attack until fatality. See, a lot of this is posturing, intimidation, negotiation. There's some intelligence there. Pit bulls is just flat out brainlessness. Frenzied attack. Don't care if you are more deadly than it. There's nothing honorable, respectable about that. You know, we respect animals in general for the little intelligence that they have. And now you can't even call it little intelligence. It's just different. There's nothing to respect about the brainlessness of pit bulls. These unwarranted attacks. And this was a lion in another lion's territory. If I'm not mistaken. Now look at this. Now, pay close attention to this right here. Y'all remember this? Some of you might remember this. That mountain lion can see that woman. So what is it doing? Why isn't it attacking her? Why hasn't it barked or hissed and charged and latched onto her? Whoa. You see that? This is not brainless behavior. Calling pit bulls animals, that's an insult to animals. Pit bulls don't act nothing. Dogs in general don't act nothing like this. Nothing like this. Not even remotely close. In fact, their behavior is the exact opposite of this. Now, you know what? This thing turns and walks away. If a pit bull ever did that, wouldn't you think that that pit bull had been drugged or something was seriously wrong with it? You see a pit bull look at you don't bark, turn around, walk away with its head down, wouldn't you wonder if something was wrong with that pit bull? Pit bulls don't act like that. They don't act like this. Now, this is not even what I wanted to show you. Look at this. Okay, now, why isn't this thing going into an all-out attack on these people? I know that these people are submitting to the gorilla. You see how the people have their head down? They're submitting to him. The same rule applies. Don't look them in the eye. Because they're not, he's not attacking them. With pit bulls, it don't matter. They don't know if you're looking at them when they charge from down the street up to you and attack you. They're not looking to see if you're looking at them in the eye, and they don't care. It's just a brainless, all-out attack. Do y'all know how strong a silverback gorilla is? Look it up. These things can just break trees, break down entire trees effortlessly. This thing can clearly see multiple people. Worse than that, these people are on the gorilla's territory. Why isn't this? Now, if we're going to say that dogs are animals, this is animal behavior. If we're supposed to believe that the behavior we see from dogs is animal behavior, tell me what the other animals are. Where they at? Look at this. Is this the behavior of a pit bull? Of any dog? You see, to go into an all-out attack and plan on fighting to the death, that's unnecessary. It's dangerous and unnecessary. Wouldn't you agree? So this thing walks between a group of people. Could you imagine a pit bull doing that? Standing there looking at people on its territory and behave like this? Don't you, Nick, dog lovers, don't you ever refer to those brainless mutants as animals ever again. Stop. Y'all wish dogs were animals. They're only animals in the sense that they're non-human. These things, no. That is an insult to animals. The intelligence that these animals display is light years above the intelligence of a dog, especially pit bulls. Pit bulls are the height of absolute brainlessness. Because even other dog breeds will give up. They will respond to appeasement behavior. With pit bulls, it's always to the death. It's always an all-out, prolonged, unnecessary attack. Even for animals, these things are brainless. Dogs, and especially bully breeds, are absolutely brainless creatures. Are you kidding? Do you think, are you kidding? You think a pit bull would do that Just walk right through a group of people, not turn back to look at them at all, as if it's intelligent? Could you imagine a pit bull behaving as intelligently as this? You know how shocking that would be? If you were to record a pit bull behaving like this, it will go viral. It will go viral because of how calm and self-controlled it was. Why don't these other animals, why don't these natural animals of the world, why don't they move erratically like dogs? What's with all of this self-control and composure that natural animals show that dogs don't show? Why isn't it in a frenzied state like we see dogs in? What is wrong with dogs? See, some people might be disturbed. Some people might be bored by this subject. But this is a discussion that dog lovers, they really don't want to have. Because they know that they don't have an answer. This is what they don't want us to pay attention to. They don't want us to pay attention to how abnormal dogs, especially pit bulls, are. Pit bulls, in the sense of these unwarranted, unnecessary attacks. They were bred for fighting. That's another way of saying that their intelligence was bred out of them. You see, if you respect nature, most likely nature is not going to bother you. But you always got to show respect to nature. Always. There's another video that I want to show y'all. This stuff is fascinating to me. Look at this.
Comfortably close to a group of silverback gorillas.
Now, mind you, they're all in the gorilla's territory. The gorilla is within his rights to thrash them. He's just giving them a warning right now. Pit bulls are not intelligent enough to give a warning. You see how cerebral this is on part of the gorilla? This ain't no all-out frenzied attack. This is more sophisticated than appeasement behavior.
Courageous guides stand their ground while the photographers back away, hoping to escape with their lives. Eventually, the gorilla turns its head back to the group to face them.
Turns his head away from them. Are y'all seeing this? This is how animals behave. Dogs ain't animals. Dogs are mutants. This is negotiation. Despite not being able to use language, because these are natural creatures, they can still sort of communicate with us.
This group is lucky to get away.
All on its territory. Could you imagine being on a pit bull's territory? Out in the wild somewhere? Do you think it will react like this? You think the pit bull will walk up and wag its finger, tell you to get back. This is basically what this gorilla did. I've said this so many times. It is such an insult to call dogs animals. I cringe every time people do it.
The courageous guides stand their ground while the photographers back away, hoping to escape with their lives. Eventually, the gorilla turns its head.
Oh, man. I'm so thankful for the internet. You know, I remember when there was no internet. The opportunities with the internet is unbelievable. You can sit down with thousands of people and research material. That's incredible. Without the internet, it would have been hard for me to share this information. Now, check this out.
Back to the group to face them. This group is lucky to get away. You can be sure that they'll keep their distance from dangerous wild animals the next time they want to take photos.
Dangerous wild animals. And dogs and pit bulls are called domestic. Man's best friend. Man's best friend, so-called, would have never behaved like this. If this were a pit bull, somebody would have been attacked. We all know this. These things are brainless. So once again, as they always do that, they always refer to natural animals, which are very self-controlled and non-aggressive for the most part. Call natural animals dangerous and aggressive. Stop. Dangerous wild animals.
Wild animals.
That's your dog.
The next time they want to take photos. Number 4. These tourists in Rwanda had a close encounter with a huge gorilla.
I mean, we can stop it right there. Does the behavior of a pit bull even come close to what you've seen already right here? Now that's a dominant gesture. What that gorilla did. The gorilla banged on his chest. Banged on his chest. That's what they do when they're trying to be dominant.
Gorilla.
Here, watch. Did you hear that? You saw that? You should have heard it and saw it. Right here. That is a display of dominance. Now, what do you think a pit bull would do if it wanted to display dominance? Do you think it would do anything even remotely as intelligent as this? It's not even capable. A pit bull, a dog in general. But I'm focusing on pit bulls because we know they're going to attack. Some other breeds will attack, but some other breeds won't. With pit bulls, they are by far the most aggressive breed. And they're really flat out the most aggressive creature on this earth. Okay, everybody's comment just popped up on the screen. There's something wrong with I need to refresh. Maybe I need some updates. Sorry about that. I see everybody in the building. I hope the stream has been going good, smoothly thus far. Man, this gorilla could smack one of these people and break every bone in their rib cage. What do you think a pit bull would do if it wanted to show someone that it was dominant? It wouldn't do nothing like this.
The tourists sit in stunned silence as the gorilla moves closer and closer to the powerless group.
Call them powerless. Call the people powerless. No, they're not powerless. The fact they haven't been attacked yet shows that they have some power, some mental power. You better know how to behave when you're in a gorilla's territory. I think it's less likely that it'll be an attack to the death if the gorilla decided to attack someone. And it actually does. Okay, watch this.
Thankfully, the group
Look at
was
that.
not.
Do you think a pit bull could be this close to a bunch of people without attacking them? Without attacking someone? Especially if they were on its territory? If you got a pack of pit bulls out in the wild, they can lay claim. But the thing with pit bulls, they don't have to have it's not about territory with dogs. Any of them. They can see you on some other territory. They can see you from far away, leave their territory and attack you. There is no way. When you just want to attack, just to attack for sport, that could get you killed. So pit bulls, they don't value life at all. They don't value no other life, and they don't value their own life. I'm always talking about value for life. Animals have a certain value for life too. Even though you have carnivores, they show a higher value for life than dogs, especially pit bulls. I mean, now you're really just talking about pit bulls. Because I've seen a lot of dog attacks, pit bull attacks. And if it's not a pit bull, it's always trying to quit, give up, and walk away from the fight. And the pit bull is not.
Thankfully, the group was not harmed by the wild gorilla. You can
Called it a wild gorilla. No, your pit bull is wild.
only imagine how things could have gone wrong. Number 3. While on her honeymoon in Rwanda's Volcanoes National Park, this woman experienced just how powerful an angry gorilla could be. The gorillas want to go to the other side of the forest with their infants, but the path is blocked by a group of tourists.
Did y'all hear that? These gorillas want to cross, but these people stand in their way.
Other side of the forest with their infants, gorilla could be. The gorillas want to go to the other side of the forest with their infants, but the path is blocked by a group of tourists.
These gorillas got infants with them. Look at this. You see how he banged on his chest? They're giving you a warning. They're being dominant when they do that.
The gorilla grabs the woman by the leg and violently throws her to the ground. Luckily, the woman wasn't harmed and was able to laugh it off.
So all the gorilla did was push her down. Just like, hey, get out the way. Y'all standing there, goofy, looking at us. We want to get by to get a drink of water. Get out the way. Goofballs, just come into gorilla's territory, stand around, form a single file line anywhere you want. But look at the self-control. It wasn't an all-out attack. It wasn't attack to the death or any brainlessness like that. You see what I mean? You know, sometimes when I talk about dogs, You can tell I'm disgusted by dogs, and people just don't understand. Why do you hate dogs so much? This is why. They don't even have basic animal behavior or intelligence. Not even as intelligent as animals. So what are you supposed to respect? The fact that it brainlessly kills and attacks? There ain't nothing sophisticated or attractive about that. These things will attack something that it has no intention on eating. With other animals, what makes them interesting is that they will fight for a reason. Lions, as we just saw, fight for territory. And even if they're on another lion's territory, they might leave alive with a warning. There's negotiations that goes on with natural animals, especially even carnivores. It is never, ever just an all-out, brainless, frenzied attack like what you see with pit bulls. Really, all dogs to an extent, but it's so much more pronounced with bully breeds. That's not admirable. For me, part of the fascination with creatures is that they only select to attack certain animals. I told you I used to own a tarantula. And when I first got it, it was kind of small and it ate crickets. Well, it grew. It grew twice. It went through 2 exfoliations. And it was so big, crickets was not enough. I had to feed it mice. So I fed it 1 mouse and I got rid of it after that. I'm like, man, this is sick. I can't do this. I put that mouse inside that tarantula cage. And when that tarantula sunk its fangs into that mouse started screaming. And the scream sounded almost like a human being scream. I had never heard nothing like that before in my life. It sort of traumatized me. I'm like, what in the world? And that spider was feeding on that mouse for about 24 hours. Specific. It's not going to just attack any creature just to kill it. There's nothing fascinating about that. It'll go after a mouse. And you know, when the tarantula got a hold of the mouse, it flipped the mouse upside down. And when it sank its fangs into the mouse, it sunk its fangs into the abdomen side of its torso. So it's a unique prey. It goes after certain prey and it eats them, kills them in a certain way. Pit bulls will latch onto a limb, a piece of the face, piece of the mouth, and just clamp, hold, rip. Just brainless, 100% brainless mutants. Pit bull lovers. What in the world, what do you admire about these things? Don't say that they're no different from any other breed, because if that's the case, then why do you only want pit bulls? Why are you so obsessed with them if there's no difference between them and other breeds? You admire the brainlessness of these mutants. Now, even worse than that, even worse than all of that, when you take, for example, a lion pride, or you take any family of creatures, when you raise some other animal, that animal that you raised is not going to kill you. Okay? When the pride of lions, at least that I know of, when they have cubs, generally, I mean, their cubs are not going to grow up to kill their parents. Now you say that these things are so human-like. You're a fur mom, fur dad, dog mom, dog dad. This is a parent-child relationship with you, with these dogs. Why do so many of them grow up to attack the very people that has been feeding it its whole life, its whole worthless, miserable life? Why do they do that? Why do they do that? We're talking about how dogs, especially pit bulls, are not selective about who they attack. What animal is unaware of its only source of food? No other animal is this dumb. These things will launch an attack against their own owners that raised them from puppies. And even if they haven't raised them from puppies, they're the only source of food that the dog knows of. Y'all have to answer for this. Don't they even have enough intelligence to know not to attack their only provider of food? I don't want to hear about your dog and how it hasn't attacked you yet. I'm talking about for all the ones that we have on record. And that's thousands. How is that even possible? How is it possible to get that dumb? You're supposed to view the provider of food as your superior. You don't attack your provider of food. You protect your food source. Humans pull food out of nowhere like magic in the mind of a dog. Dog don't know. They just look up and we got food in our hand and we can give the dog food. We're the middleman between dogs and food. The dogs don't get food unless it comes from us first. The dogs see this. Every dog that eats sees a human being giving it its food. And dogs are the only animals that go through something like this. You can't say that about other natural animals of the earth. And this is a generational thing, generation after generation, where dogs only receive food when it comes from humans. So how is it possible that dogs attack humans more than any other animal attacks humans? They should be the one animals on earth that never attacks people. Never. If they're still attacking as many humans as they are, then what good is it to say that we evolved next to dogs for tens of thousands of years? Okay, well, I can't tell. Am I making sense? Does that make sense? I hope I'm explaining it in a understandable way. Isn't that crazy? Your only source of food, and you will attack them? Try to kill them? People, look at those stories where the victims were not only attacked by their own dogs, but the dogs would then start to eat them. Y'all remember that female, that young lady who took her dogs out in the woods, walking them? They killed her and they were eating her. The cop said they were eating her. Okay, you just ate your only source of food. Now where's your food supposed to come from? I mean, this is next level stupidity, man. This is deep stuff. You mean they're not even smart enough to know not to kill or attack their only source of food? Okay, so why should we admire these things? What is it? Don't call them. They're not loving. They're not loving. What do you admire so much about them? And it's always some goofball nonsense. Well, because it wags its tail when I walk through the door. Stop. Shout out to Canine Constrictor in the super chat. I'll make sure to check out the channel and subscribe to Canine Constrictor. For the black tea. Oh, yes. Yeah, this is important. Every chance I get, I try to point out the difference in behavior between dogs and natural animals. But pit bulls, those bully breeds, they stick out like a sore thumb. They really do. There's no reason why they shouldn't be banned in every state. These things should be 100% banned. Why, pit bull lovers, why do these things attack their only source of food? Why do they go out in full out attacks to the death when they don't have to? That is the height of brainlessness, and there's nothing to admire about that. There's nothing appealing about dogs at all, especially pit bulls, especially these bully breeds. These owners of these bully breeds, they really just get off on the danger involved. They get off on how dangerous they are. And that's a problem. As you endanger yourself, you endanger everybody else as well. But the way that these things launch these never-ending, all-out frenzied attacks where they latch on to something or someone and they don't let go, you separate the target from the dog. It's constantly in a frenzied state trying to get back to the target. That's not natural. That's very unnatural. Dogs, breeds aside from bully breeds, they're not as badly mutated as bully breeds. Bully breeds, a big reason why they're so dangerous is because they're more mutated. They're more mutated. They are more abnormal. Haven't y'all noticed they're like more unalike? They're the furthest thing from wolves, really, as you can possibly get. They're extra mutated. Dogs, that was a degenerate state, the dog. But when they bred the pit bull, it was even more mutated. There ain't nothing admirable about that. Okay, so these things are so mutated, all they can really do is sniff excrement, buttholes, eat excrement, attack, and beg for food. It's all about eat, attack, eat, attack, eat, attack. You've bred out all other types of intelligence possible. It can't negotiate. It can't reason. It can't observe. It will never see a intruder or any other animal and pause, evaluate the target like natural animals do, get an idea of the aggressiveness of this foreign creature. Dogs, especially pit bulls, will never be that intelligent. There is no intelligence on display when it comes to dogs, especially pit bulls, at all. And these other breeds, as much as I hate to say it, they show a little more intelligence than pit bulls, or should I say they're not as dumb. They're not quite as dumb as pit bulls, because they're far less likely to launch these unwarranted, never-ending, frenzied attacks to the death. Your pit bull will never be this intelligent, ever. So what do you even admire it for? I mean, this is why I admire natural animals. Why attack? If whatever you're looking at is not attacking you, why attack it? It seems like other animals, they're able to think like that. This cougar just looked, checked her out, and said, hey, okay, it's non-threatening. This person's not attacking me. Let me walk away. Man, that's basic intelligence. And this is what I'm saying. We should demand basic intelligence. What on earth, what was going through this mountain lion's mind? It had to have been something very basic and essential. It had to have been, well, hey, I see something. It's not attacking me. I don't know if it can kill me. Maybe it can kill me. At the very least, that has to be going through these mountain lions' mind. I see something. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to go into an all-out attack because it might kill me. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that that's what's going through this animal's mind. Like, I see something. It looks weird. It looks strange. But I'm not going to attack it because it's not attacking me. Okay? So let me just walk away from it. Basic intelligence. They want to project this idea that animals are just completely dumb like dogs. That the dumbness that you see with dogs, especially pit bulls, is shared with other animals of the earth. In your dreams, you wish, y'all wish, what a pipe dream. You wish pit bulls was this non-violent and sophisticated in your dreams. Same with dogs. Any dumb dog would have at least started barking. It would have at least became aggressive. Might have ran over and bit you. But if it was a pit bull, it would see you, attack, and not stop attacking. Like the brainless mutant that it is. So I wanted to take a moment to appreciate animals. And that don't include dogs. And most of all, it does not include pit bulls. Pit bulls are so dumb. You know, their willingness to attack any and everything to the death, that really makes them a lot more dumb than other dog breeds. They're like the maxed out version of degeneracy in dog form. Pit bulls. They're like the ultimate degenerated dog. They're the absolute worst of the dog breeds. They might have more muscle. They might be stronger. But they're still more degenerative. They're more regressed mentally. Intelligence-wise, they're much more regressed. If you don't even have appeasement behavior and you don't respond to appeasement behavior, you're not even on the level of a natural animal. Because even natural animals show some value for life, for their own life. And that's what you see with these gorillas, their reluctancy, these lions, when they're fighting each other, they don't always go all out in the fight to the death. They don't always do that. What you see with natural animals is some level of respect or value for life. If you don't even value life whatsoever, okay, so what is it that's so admirable about these things? You don't know. And that's why pit bulls are for people who are dumb. That's why they say low IQ people own them. Because there's just no reason to admire them. And if you admire them just because they're dangerous, that makes you even extra stupid. Because it could be you getting munched on inside of your home, like so many of these people do. Popping up left and right. These dog attacks that's going down, dog attacks, I think right now are higher than they've ever been. It seems like it. Higher than there ever has been. Keep in mind, some of these reports come out late. The video I did earlier involved stories that surfaced today and yesterday, but actually took place over the weekend. And it seems like there's still coming news from Halloween, right? That boy that I just talked about, he was attacked, I believe, on Halloween Day. He was in the Hollywood costume in that photo. So there's no telling how many stories are going to come out going forward. I would say by the end of this week. These things prove through and through that there is nothing, they're not man's best friend. They're 10 times more aggressive than natural animals towards the people who pamper them. The other animals don't get pampered like that. Providing food and shelter for these things on a generational basis. And they still, by far, the most aggressive so-called animals on earth. Yeah, at the very least, pit bulls need to be gotten rid of. You know, it's just too irresponsible to keep these things legalized. Oh, yeah. Sub-Zero said, can we take a moment to mention the ugliest looking bully breed, Doggo Argentino? Those things look like rats. If I'm not mistaken, that Doggo Argentino, these things look like rats, very large rats. Here, let me pull up an image of that while we're talking about that. Just a hideous, mutant looking creature. Here we go right here. Let me share this. I mean, people actually call these things pretty. Call them handsome. I don't know if this is the most unsightly. They got so many. This is not the one I was thinking of. The one I was thinking of is it's like a, man, it's got like a narrow, it's like a real narrow face. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, it looked like almost like a mosquito in the face, like a bug or something. Where is that nasty mutant? I think it's that bull terrier. Right? Let me see. Yeah, here it is. What in the world is that? What is that? See, just because it's not human, we've been looking at these things as animals. No. No. Animals don't look unsightly like this. Why would anybody want to even look at this thing? Look at these things every day. Are you kidding? It looked like a horse. What in the world? Now, these are bully breeds. This is what I'm talking about. Some of these districts, they will have pit bull bands, but you go into those countries and you see other bully breeds. It's like, okay, so what's the point? You just trying to come off as a governor who wants public safety, who values public safety, but you don't want to take anything away from the dog lovers too. You want to be able to say, hey, yeah, I ban pit bulls, and say, well, I let people own bully breeds instead. What's the difference? Trying to appease to both crowds. In the UK, or at least some parts of it, I covered a lot of stories where they said that there's a banned list. A bunch of countries got this, and this is something I really don't understand. These countries have a banned list, and on that list, there's a bunch of bully breeds. There's bully breeds. They'll ban like the bull. This is what they do. They'll ban particular bully breeds. So even that is a scam. Man, we are so far behind. Even pit bull bans are lenient. Pit bull bans are basically a scam. It's hard to, now look, maybe some people in some districts can tell you better than I can, because I'd like to know. I remember somebody on this channel said that pit bulls were banned where they live. If you live in an area where pit bulls are banned, do they allow other bully breeds? I'd really like to know that. Yeah, we're going to ban pit bulls because we care about public safety. Oh, but you can own these bully breeds. Okay? Lord. Man, I can't. It's too much. Yeah, burrito face. And you know why it looks funny? It's just the mutation. You see how different so many dogs look? That's the mutation. You don't see that with other animals. You know? You don't see a breed of zebra that don't even look like zebras. Look at how different dogs look. That's because there are mutants. These are different levels of mutations, or different types of mutations, where some things are mutated more than others. What in the world? How did these things even come into existence? Is what I'd like to know. I mean, these things look like large rats. You know it's not the looks. They're not attracted to how these things look. Stop. There's no way. So it's all about because they're dangerous. It has to be. Yeah, they're not even cute. Hey, what's the point? Me growing up, I always thought people get pets because they think they're cute. My sister had a rabbit, and I think like a ferret or something. You know, maybe it was the way I was brought up. People got a pet because they thought it was cute and cuddly. So when I grew up and I saw people owning these things, it's like, it's a head scratch. Like, okay, what do you see in that? I mean, really, this? Of all the options for a pet? You want to get something like this? What? And then take pictures of it? Take pictures with it? Kiss it? What? You want to kiss it, huh? Man, oh man. I can't. You know, a good portion of them, they're into that lifestyle. You can't help people like that. I can say that. Like when I'm trying to persuade people away from dogs, that does not include people who are intimate with dogs. There's no helping those people. They'll never turn against dogs. Yeah, it's creepy. Creepy that we have to deal with that. So it'll have to be banned. That's the only thing that they have to be banned. If you ban them, you may as well exterminate. You're going to have to exterminate them. What else are you going to do with them? I don't know. Look, man. When it comes to pit bulls, among the dog breeds, the existence of bully breeds is like a mockery of dogs in general. It's like a mockery of the laws. It's a true mockery of the laws. You're going to legalize a breed that was bred to attack. Just think about that. A breed that was bred to attack. You mean the same way other breeds are bred for other things, these were bred to attack. Just on sight. They would just put these things in a pit and they would attack any animal. This is what this is bred for. And you want to legalize it? Bred to kill? What a mockery. It's insulting. That is so insulting. You want to, really? Then you want to talk about how dangerous it is to leave a gun out somewhere? Man, I have a gun. That gun is not going to shoot me. It's never going to shoot me. I know that for a fact. You owners of bully breeds, you can't say that. I mean, owners of all dogs, y'all can't say that. Y'all have no idea. You don't know when that dog might kill you. What is this? This thing almost looked like a mutated human. You know what? I've thought this for a long time. That dogs came into existence as a result of people being intimate with them, exchanging bodily fluids with them. Yeah? And all that flora, the foreign bacteria, slowly started to mutate them. Really? Y'all think this is cute? That's animal abuse. To even let these things exist, that's animal abuse. What in the world? You know, I love how they put dogs in nature to try to make them look like they're a part of nature. You know, put this mutt in some tall grass, got a little lake in the background, like it's some type of majestic lion or something. You kidding? What's really crazy is that these things cannot survive in nature. That's the craziest thing about it. And I'm not surprised. Look at them. I'm sorry, people. Natural animals don't look this offensive. These things look offensive. No wonder other animals always try to attack them. They take one look at these things and they're like, oh no, you're not supposed to exist. What in the world? Now they got all these deformities and health problems. And that is another reason why they need to be exterminated. You've mutated them to the point where they have a bunch of deformities and illnesses and infections, all because of how mutated they are. So you have a group of living creatures suffering their whole life because you brought them into existence like that. That's inhumane. The very existence of these things is what animal abuse truly is, because they exist just so they can live a miserable, dysfunctional life. Let me see here. Y'all remember, you can pull this up anytime. And this is pretty ridiculous, man. I've never seen a list of diseases this long ever anywhere in my life. This is a list of dog diseases. So this is what these people are making these dogs deal with. All of these issues these mutants have. And this list is unreal. Unreal. Look at where the tab is right here on the side of the screen. This is crazy. Don't you think it's animal abuse to have something this screwed up in existence? No, you don't breed thousands and millions of these things. You don't breed them. That is inhumane. Like I said, if these people were really humane, they wouldn't own these things. Yeah. Anytime a MMA fighter uploads images of dogs, I unfollow them. I follow MMA, but I won't follow fighters who upload photos of dogs. I just can't do it. I can't come on social media, see images of dogs looking at me. Yeah. So I like picture of a heartworm. Oh yeah. What else is born with parasites? Is there anything else that's born with parasites? That seems extreme. They're just born with worms. Okay? So I say a lot of these diseases either generated by the dogs or have mutated from something that came from the dog. In general, it seems like everything is clean until dogs show up. The land, the plants, the soil, the inside of a home, the furniture, everything is generally clean until the dogs show up. So a lot of these diseases, I'm starting to think just comes from the dog. All these viruses, these outbreaks of these dogs across the country every single month. No. Don't try to blame the environment, when only your dog is as filthy as it is. All right, so I just wanted to highlight the fact that these goofy mutants are abnormal. They're abnormal. and they don't deserve anything from us. They've killed far too many. They've mutilated far too many. And they need to pay a price for all of the victims that they've mutilated. They need to pay a price. And that price needs to be, at the very least, banning of bully breeds. Banning of bully breeds. How many more attacks do you need to hear about? I could make Random Dog Nuttery 50, 51, and 52 within the next hour or so. Easily. These things have been proven to be predictable. We know exactly what type of injury, and we know what's going to cause the injury to someone somewhere. And those victims include babies on up. We know what's going to attack them. So why don't we remove the threat before it does? Well, because dogs are more important. Okay. Okay, nutters. Okay. You're willing to die for dogs. That's what it boils down to. They're willing to die for dogs. Jacqueline Duran really hammered that point home. The way she came out of hospital and continued to, she made it a point to take photos of herself with dogs, in a dog's face. That was horrible. That was terrible. That was, I don't even like talking about the situation with Jacqueline Duran. But she had motive behind doing that. They thought that out, to take those photos of her squatting down in a dog's face, with her face inches away from a dog, her mutilated face inches from a dog face. Her way of sending out the message to other dog lovers to die. Die to do this. Do this, even if it costs you your life. I'm not down with that. That's overboard stupidity right there. Shout out to everybody able to join me for this live stream, and I hope to see you on the next as we continue with this crusade.